We can't talk about higher intensity training and fat loss without talking about recovery, because one of the worst things that can happen is someone burning out whenever they're trying to accomplish goals. So the first idea I'm going to leave you with is the Stephen Covey quote. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And in other words, that means if you're trying to focus on fat loss and using higher intensity training as a tool to maintain muscle while you're losing fat, don't also try to burn the candle at both ends by focusing on some other goal at the same time. So whenever you're focusing on fat loss, that's not a great time to also focus on making like really major muscle or strength gains or accomplishing an ambitious cardio goal. So for example, if you're a serious weightlifter, don't also be trying to improve your 1 rep max on your deadlift or your squat while you're also focusing on fat loss. And similarly, if you're more of a cardio person and you're using higher intensity training and you're dieting, don't also try to run a half marathon at the same time, because you want to keep the main thing, which is fat loss. Because exercise is a stressor, and higher intensity training, we want to keep it nice and short and sweet because we don't want your body to become overtaxed from just slogging through workout after workout after workout. So one of the best things that you can do is follow an undulating training program. And what that means is there's some HIIT, high intensity interval training, but then there's a couple of days of recovery after the HIIT where you do other things. Maybe there's like an ab workout or a very moderate intensity cardio workout that's very comfortable, or maybe it's a strength training workout that doesn't really like push you to the limit, but it's just for the purpose of maintaining muscle and staying strong. What we don't want to do is get addicted to where every workout needs to feel like you're just going to the max every single time and you're totally trashed after the workout, because you will either burn out with your weight loss, get like really tired and fatigued, stop sleeping as well, or you may get some kind of nagging injury that just won't go away that really hinders you in your training. So here are ways that you can really focus on recovery in order to not burn out or stall out in your fat loss goals when you're using higher intensity interval training. So again, use an undulating program. The other thing I would say is really watch things like your sleep. I want you to prioritize sleep hygiene and try to catch up on extra sleep, especially when you feel like you need it. Try to get at least 7 to 9 hours a night. And then I would also say be sensitive to times when you're not sleeping as well, because sometimes excess stress from exercise and from a caloric deficit, it will show up as interrupted sleep. So make sure that you are, taking those extra rest days when those signs of stress are showing up. Another sign of stress that will show up is if you track your heart rate, you'll see that your heart rate is much more variable. So what I mean by that is small things will cause your heart rate to really spike. So, maybe you are looking back on your heart rate from the day and you're seeing like, I wasn't exercising during this time, but it kept like going way up into the 100s. Every time, apparently I was like, getting up from my desk or climbing a flight of stairs or something like that. So heart rate variability can be a sign of stress. It can indicate that maybe you need an extra rest day that's just walking or something like that. But the other thing is, if your resting heart rate also seems to be like climbing a little bit, like it's higher than it was, that can also be an indication of stress, and maybe you need an extra rest day or two. So another area of recovery that a lot of people don't think about when they're losing weight is nutrition, because you do need calories, you do need protein, you need carbs to help refuel your muscles after workouts. So I highly recommend fueling your workouts well. Have something containing carbs an hour or more before your workout, and then have something that contains carbs and protein within an hour after your workout. And even if you're in a caloric deficit that makes it hard to juggle, how to get in all the food that you need, I would really prioritize that you frame your workouts with good nutrition, even maybe if it means you have to give up a treat at some other point in the day, because your body will really thank you for feeling good and feeling nourished and feeling fueled to work out well. And then finally, one of the other things that I really recommend in terms of recovery are things like breath work and visualization and foam rolling, things that are really going to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and help to calm things. Because exercise, if you think of it in a certain way, it winds you up, and what you need help with is winding back down. So even things like taking time to cool down after a workout. You know, I know for me, that's tough because I'm almost always in a rush and almost always don't have time to be doing what I'm trying to do. So taking time to cool down is a real challenge for me. But that and doing kind of a cool down before bed where, like if you watch TV at night, get your foam roller out, do some foam rolling or do some belly breathing before bed. Those nighttime activities to calm your nervous system before your sleep can both really help with sleep and as a byproduct of that, really decrease your stress overall. So that's what I would say about recovery is that you don't want to just go all the time. You don't want to get addicted to the feeling of your workouts have to be really hard and you have to be totally exhausted afterwards. And I also don't want you to feel like you have to put up with feelings like being really hungry, being really tired, not sleeping well, feeling irritable. Really try to balance out what you're doing, like I said, by keeping the main thing the main thing. If you're focusing on fat loss, make all of your efforts support fat loss so that you don't burn out.